I hunted, Rob. I hunted for Tobey Maguire's dick.
Do you want to take a life? Do you want to cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
I learned a long time ago that there's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Plus, I have a really large penis. That keeps me happy.
Now, what you've got here is a scrotum and nothing else.
Vagina.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Probably late. Oh, Friday night time. Radical light and highly organized. It's Friday night time. Friday night time. If you're still not offended tonight. Oh, Friday night time. Rest assured that the chances are high.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monday Nooner. Right on time. Right on time. Already we're starting with the language. JC Hero. Already starting with the language. No, it's take over Greenland. Take over Greenland. How you doing? Thank you very much. Thank you. What's up? Thumbs up 81. Rue, Viola, Mars, Monkey Max. Let's see. M Spock. Mr. Spock, Jack Hammond, Barry McCockiner, good friend of Phil McCrevis. He is. David S. Martin, Nick HX, Mr. Fibble, promo code Pillow. I don't know why that name makes me laugh, but it does. Kingdom Hearts Gamer, hello. High Low Gary says Coopster. High Low. Well, that's what life is, son. Lots of highs, lots of lows. And if you somehow can find a balance in between, you're winning. You're winning. Andrea Susie, Blind Silianka. And Eric K. the Mod. Of course, he's here chewing me out. He's like, what the hell is he doing? What's he messing around? I was getting a glass of water. I was making sure my beard was combed. What's up, WG? And more importantly, I was making sure there was no food or anything on my beard because you never know. Now, normally I wouldn't care because that's a meal for later, but I don't want anything hanging off while the stream is going on. What's up, Hertz Donut? So today is Monday. Today is Monday, the 12th day of 2026, and Hollywood will never fucking learn. Tone down from what I saw, tone down, but it's the usual suspects, particularly one Mark Ruffalo, who I think, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he have some kind of brain thing, like a little stroke a few years ago? Not that he was ever sane. But it's a little bit starting to show a little bit. It's starting to show a little bit. Mark Ruffalo is absolutely a true believer. Some aren't, some are. He is. So we're going to talk about him and a little bit about the Golden Globes and a lot of bit about Hollywood's never going to learn. But the funny thing is, they're still going to need Daddy Trump to save them. As far as the theaters are concerned, they're still going to need Daddy Trump, which is going to be just funny. I'm going to break out the popcorn, see what happens. I have no dog in this fight. With Warner Brothers being sold to either Paramount or Netflix, I still think it's kind of it's better if Paramount buys them, probably. Because I think Paramount would have to then. I think breaking off CNN and throwing it to the wind is the win for America. So whatever company's going to do that. Now I know Netflix doesn't get that part of the company and they want to break it off later and blah blah blah. We'll see what happens. Honestly, I find it hard where people will say Netflix buying Warner Brothers would be a monopoly. I'm like, so would Paramount. It wouldn't be that different. We can talk about market share on streaming, but we have another studio. And then there's the aspect of I'm not a financial analyst. So as a stockholder, when you get purchased, when the company you have stock in gets purchased, you can either get paid out or you can go into Netflix. Just go look at Netflix stock compared to Paramount stock right now. And even if Paramount buys Warner Brothers, that will not change at all. It might be a little better for Paramount, but like the difference between those two will not change. So I don't know how that works. You got to talk to Valiant Renegade about that stuff. I was kicked out of 3 high schools. I think he actually finished school. He might have finished a couple of schools, like with good grades. How many A's did I have in high school? I think 3. One was woodshop. One was PE. And I did really good in an English class one year when we had like this really great teacher, Mr. Taylor. May he rest in peace. He died in a car accident. He was driving he drove around in an MG, and those are just not safe. God rest that guy's soul, though. He's one of the best teachers I ever knew. But yes, the one like real class I got an A in high school was English. That's fucking funny. Now that I think about it, never thought about it like that. Okay. I didn't get like graded. So we did behind the wheel. Somebody said on acid. So just so you know, I didn't get graded, but we used to do, I don't know if they still do it in school, but there was driver's ed, and you would take your behind the wheel test in high school. Right. So I took my behind the wheel test. I'm on my way out to go do it. And, scary Sherry Dale, my best friend's half sister at the time, JD Hammond, his half sister, it's like, stick your tongue out. And I'm like, okay. And she drops a hit of acid on my tongue and she goes, have fun. I'm like, what's that do? She's all, it's kind of hard to describe. Just be ready. Don't do anything important. I'm all, I'm going to do a driver's test right now. And I did it. I did it. The only thing that would have almost got me busted was while I was waiting to be behind the wheel, I was in the back seat just laughing my ass off. And the teacher thought I was just laughing at I think, the guy driving. I'm not really sure. It's a little fuzzy. It's a little fuzzy. It's a little fuzzy, but okay, we got I'm way behind on sponsors, so we're going to read a couple of ads and then get to it. But we are going to talk about a little bit of the Golden Globes, a little bit about the lawsuit, a little bit about Star Trek Academy. What else are we talking about? What did Lady Greymaster get? Oh, and we're going to react to a new One Piece trailer. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because let's do something fun. And damn it, I was talking about my most anticipated films on FNT, and I'm like, Odyssey, Dune, Project Hail Mary. That's probably number one, but they've all been dethroned. They've all been dethroned. Godzilla -0 releases this year. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Number one most anticipated movie of the year, and it's not even close. And sorry, Nolan. Way more interested in this. Could it shit the bed? Sure. But Nolan can shit the bed too. And unlike Nolan fans, I'll admit that he's shit the bed a couple of times with a couple of movies. Mostly pretty good that director, though. Like I'm gonna say, he's directed some of my all-time favorite movies. All right, so let's read the ads. What do we want to start with? Oh, I would like to preface this with taxation is theft. It is the theft of your hard-earned money by a government who misappropriates it, pockets it. A corrupt government that gets rich off it and gouges us every single effing day. They're just drawing blood from you. That's what they're doing. Oh, we can talk about we need it for the roads and we need it for the traffic lights and we need it for the police and the fire department. And that'd be great if they were actually getting the bulk of it, but they're not. But they're not. It's going to Somalian daycares. And if you think that's just happening in Minnesota, holy shit. Do I have a Somalian daycare to send your kid to? Well, I should have put the title Hollywood Will Never Lear. Oh, should we change the title to that? I just thought of that. Do it, X-Ray Girl. Do it. Okay. So yeah, by the way, I'm setting up for an ad here. So taxation is theft. We've all agreed on this, right? Okay, good. The IRS needs more money, your money. And with President Trump pushing to abolish federal income tax, oh my God. I got a little aroused just saying that. And replace them with tariffs so foreign countries pay America instead of American workers. Washington is scrambling to protect its revenue. Congress will fight both tooth and nail to keep that gravy train running. And the IRS is already becoming more aggressive as it tries to prove it can still bring in billions if income tax disappears. If you owe the IRS back taxes, they may garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your retirement or take your home. Don't let the IRS target you. Call the professionals at Tax Network USA. Their tax lawyers and enrolled agents are experts in powerful programs that may help you eliminate your tax debt. Tax Network USA is A+ rated, and has saved over $1 billion for their clients. That's Americans like you and me. Whether you owe a few $1,000s or a few million. Looking at you, Eric K. They can help you with one phone call. You can start the process of stopping threatening demand letters, stopping aggressive collections, and resolving your tax matter once and for all. But you must act now while you have options. For free consultation, call 1-800-958-1000. That's 1-800-958-1000. And visit tnusa.com/nerdrotic. Don't let the IRS be the first to act. Don't do it. Yeah, I put Eric K on Front Street. He has my respect, though. He does. Has anybody ever looked down on a tax? I'm just kidding. Eric K is not a tax evader. Oh God, what was it called? The people who refuse to pay taxes and they declare something in the Constitution. Like there's some wording in the Constitution that they declare that it gives. I can't remember now. There was a couple of guys trying to get away with this and they didn't. I forgot what it was though. Sovereign. Thank you. Sovereign citizens. That's it. Eric is just a sovereign citizen. That's all he is. He's a sovereign citizen. What did I see up here? Hang on. Yeah, it was. Welcome to the show. Hey, one more. AI. Before the robots take us all over, we might as well have fun. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. Meta uses our information based on our browsing and engagement history to sell to other companies because Mark Zuckerberg is indeed a robot. Why do we assume ASI is going to be any different? If you've used any other leading AI apps and you've probably been censored at some point, even for harmless questions or requests. Maybe some not, because I know some of you out there. Okay, not judging. I'm just saying. With Venice AI, it lets you use AI without handing over your sensitive information, and features like messages encrypted and your conversations history is stored only in your browser. AI can be extremely valuable, but we shouldn't need to give up our privacy to use it. Venice, not Venezuela, Venice utilizes leading open source AI models to deliver text, code, and image generation to your web browser. There's no downloads or installation. The Venice, not Venezuela, Pro plan unlocks the full platform and features including PDF. That's the files uploads for summaries, the ability to turn off safe mode for unhindered image generation, the ability to change how Venice interacts with you and by modifying the system prompt, limitless text, and high image limits. If you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts, you can get 20% off the Pro plan by using my link, venice.ai/nerdrotic. Use code Nerdrotic. Thank you very much. On with the show. I promised Mahler I would change this mic about, was it 2 years ago, X-Ray Girl? And I haven't done it. I was like, because with the PDF file, I'm like, I was going to say what it actually stood for. I'm like, I don't even know. It's portable document format. That kind of PDF. The mic needs WD-40. My brain needs WD-40. And Robitussin. Hey, thanks, Pilot Grove. That was really nice. So your audio sounds great. Thanks, pal. Thanks, Eric, you sovereign citizen. We support you. And we promise to visit you in federal prison. We promise. What do we want to start with? Let's go to. Oh, I don't want to. I think I want to start with One Piece. Okay, with everybody. Let's start it out right or wrong. We'll find out. Real quick. When is the trip to Japan? Is it sold out? It is sold out, Phil Poole, for $2. The trip to Japan is in the last week of May, but I believe there is a waiting list. X-Ray Girl, is there can you answer? You could just answer in the private chat if you can't answer. Is there a waiting list that they can sign up on? She is off the reservation. Yes, there should be. Let me see. Yeah, so she's looking into it right now. So there may be a waiting list because people may drop out. But it is sold out as of now. But we'll check in on that, Phil. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, Japan. Yeah, there you go. Join waitlist right there. So it's on the right-hand side. And I'm sure the mod Eric K can or X-Ray Girl can throw in the link. That would be swell, guys. Quitters. Yeah, going to Japan in a few months. And I just realized it cut it close because the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda comes out right around that time. And I'm like, ooh. And my wife gave me, I'm like, it's the job. It's the job. It's one that I love. But it works out. It works out. I'll be able to see it, drop a video, piss off to Japan. I might miss some of the internet fun afterwards, but we can't wait to see you, Noons. How you doing, Noons? But we have Star Trek. Oh, Chris Gore, if you're out there, I know you're listening, Chris Gore. I need to talk to you. Call you after the episode if it's before your live stream. But Star Trek's coming out in 3 days? And then more importantly, maybe not algorithmically, but for my life and my sanity, Night of the Seven Kingdoms is on Sunday. We will be live on the main channel, roughly around 8:45-ish. Soon as the episode is finished airing, Mahler will be there. Ryan will be there. Shad will be there. Fringy will be there. I can't wait. And then the whole gang will be back for House of the Dragon later on. But listen, House of the Dragon might be pretty good this year. Lots of battles, lots of crazy shit. But if you're tired of nihilism, and especially from George R. Martin, listen, I like George R. Martin. I like his storytelling. I just wish he'd finish. Don't like a lot of the decisions from both shows. Both shows have made terrible decisions. But Night of the Seven Kingdoms is a very traditional hero story about a very likable guy named Dunk. And Egg. Egg is little squire. Yeah, Fringy. If he wants to come on, he's welcome. All right, let's go. Let's get to this. Let's start out with something fun. No. We are going to go into Brave because Chrome and everything else sucks ass. I've been pretty happy with Brave thus far. And I know there's about 500 of you who have been telling me to use it for years. I'm an old man. I'm slow at shit. All right. So One Piece released a big trailer. One Piece season 2. One Piece season 1 came out, a week before we went to the UK. So that was in 2023 in August. So we're almost at 3 years. We're almost at 3 years. 2.5. That's ridiculous. And I don't care how high your production is. Film back to back, schedule things out. The thing was an undeniable hit pretty much the first week it came out. It was pretty unquestionable. And they took a long time to renew it. And then they took a long time to do it. And then, admittedly, the two showrunners, one of them who worked on this, and the other one I think noped out beforehand, are gone now. So Netflix season 2 curse still exists. So as much as I loved the first season, my favorite show of 2023, in my top 5 shows of this decade for sure, I'm tempering my expectations. We'll just say that. Tempering my expectations. Also, one of the best TV soundtracks of the last decade, bar none, which is crazy because it's the same. Well, The Witcher music's not bad. The Witcher music's actually pretty good. So it's the same composer as The Witcher. It was also the same composer as Red Sonja, but this is really good. All right. I want this to be great. It comes out in March, but 2.5 years, you can't fucking do that. And these are kids. These are kids. So I predict, I think they're already up. I think they've renewed 2 seasons. So they're filming back to back, and then that's it. In my opinion. We'll find out. Oh shit. Hang on. How come why is it going through? My speakers. Sorry, guys. Right there. But we had him in season 1 too. Yes, that guy is in Game of Thrones. Like Garp actor, he is. He's a. I forgot. He's in. No, he's not Game of Thrones. He's in. It surprised me that I liked this, because when I saw the first trailer, for season 1, I'm like, oh, this looks fucking terrible. And the only reason I watched it was on a whim. I watched it on a whim, and yeah, I think I saw a couple people I trusted like it. I'm like, all right, I'll go check it out. But they were also anime fans. I think it was Yellow Flash, pretty sure. But yeah, the most unlikeliest show for me to like. I don't know if that's. And listen, I got an A in English in high school. Okay? Pretty good. I'm gonna say. It looks very anime. Anime is kind of a fever dream. Let's be real. But it worked in this case. Which proves it could have worked for Cowboy Bebop and didn't. So I think there's a fine line. There's a fine line for acceptability as far as live action is concerned. But we will see. I kind of liked it. I did. March 10th, we will be covering it extensively. There will be videos. They will be long videos. They will be Stranger Things 5 long videos on the season. I don't think I'll break it down into episodes. I'll just do the whole damn thing. But last time I released my One Piece video, I think it was late October. So it was like months after it came out. It'll be a little sooner than that. But yeah, I think I really hope it's good. I do. I hope everything's good. I hope Doomsday is good. Wouldn't it be great if like somehow a miracle happens? The Russo brothers recapture the magic of Winter Soldier. I know Mahler will say Civil War, but I'll say Winter Soldier because Winter Soldier's I like Winter Soldier more than I like Civil War. I love Civil War, but I like Winter Soldier more. And they recapture that magic and they make this like coherent narrative. And sure, we know everybody's going to die, but they do it in such a glorious way that, you know, we know everybody's in Valhalla and died with honor. It couldn't happen. But let's just pretend it could. That'd be great. That'd be great. And if it does happen, I'll be the first person to tell you, man, I was so fucking wrong. And I'm so happy. I think Spider-Man's going to be decent. I'm a little worried about them losing their director who, like, listen, the guy wasn't fucking Spielberg, but I think he found his way a little bit in the final one. But I like No Way Home. I do. It's my favorite MCU Spider-Man movie, which I am not a fan of the first two. I think I could at least rewatch the first one, Homecoming, but Far From Home is terrible. So, and they've all made tons of money. But even the first part of No Way Home, Doctor Strange is a bitch. I thoroughly hate that. Thoroughly hate that. All right, so Netflix, speaking of Netflix, let's get into this. Where is the article? X-Ray Girl. There it is. There it is. Never mind. I got it, X-Ray Girl. I figured out how to work the thing. Famous last words. I know. Oh, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't care. Either way, like, here's the situation with Warner Brothers being sold. The best case scenario for Hollywood is Warner Brothers stays its own company and continues on towards their venture to profitability. That's it. That is the only good option for Hollywood in this scenario. And anybody saying otherwise is fooling themselves, in denial, or unaware of the situation. Either way, that's the best. Warner Brothers doesn't sell to anybody. The fact that Warner Brothers has to sell tells you the shape Hollywood's in right now. And it's dire. It's absolutely dire. But Avatar's making $1 billion. So what? Avatar making $1 billion at the box office, number one, did not help the theaters in 2025. It did not help their balance sheets at all. It will help them in the first quarter of 2026. But here's the problem. There's no other movies coming out. Zero that are going to bring any kind of put any butts in the seats, have any significant until March. Until March. They've got nothing until March of any significance. There is some I'm sure there's movies you're interested in, and I'm sure there's movies that'll do pretty good, but there's no tent poles coming until Project Hail Mary. So 2 months, Avatar by itself is going to have to carry everything, and that's not enough. That is not enough. Theaters are big. They're expensive. They take up a lot of land. They pay a lot of taxes. They're paying fewer and fewer employees, and you can only charge so much for a fucking popcorn bucket. And if you have no reason to go, why do you think they're doing the 25th anniversary of Lord of the Rings like early? For one, it's not the 25th anniversary yet. It's not until December, but they're doing it like in the next couple of months because there's nothing going on. So it's bad. A slightly more acceptable sale is to Paramount, I believe. Is to Paramount. And honestly, I don't think it's going to happen unless like somebody steps in, because it's sounding like to me, Zaslav, a bunch of people's hero, Zaslav, is favoring Netflix because he's getting a better deal. At least that's what Ellison's saying. But why would you deny that? Because their deal keeps getting better. I think I heard Valiant say something about they want to get the share price up to $34 a share. And that's the tipping point where they might go to Paramount. Sure. I mean, he would know better than I would. Here's the problem, though. Paramount is Skydance. Skydance is a production company that bought a studio. So in truth, you're losing two studios. You're losing two major studios. Two major studios had to sell due to their exorbitant debt, and they were purchased by a tech guy. Sure, it's one generation removed, Nepo baby tech guy, but it's tech money. It's Silicon Valley money that bought two Hollywood studios, possibly. And there will be redundancies. So you lose Warner Brothers either way. Paramount, at least, will still release movies in theaters. But as much as you and I love the theater experience, we love it. It's great. We love the idea of it. And I don't want it to go away. And I think it'll be bad if it goes away. But what I think doesn't matter. The reality of the situation is they are dying. Release windows are closing. And that's because most people are staying at home now. Now, what's the reason for that? Well, most of the movies are shit. If there were better movies, more people would go to the theater. If you want to solve your problem, make better movies. But they decided to just make more movies. And when they decided to make more movies, they decided to also get hyper political and piss off half the country. So you're making shitty movies. Has Hollywood always had a good reputation with the general populace of America? No. Shitting on Hollywood has been around since Hollywood has been around. And people love, I think there was way more celebrity worship 20 years ago, right? For sure. But it was also, Joan Rivers talking shit on the red carpet. Like, that's what people liked. But they have so many problems now. It's insurmountable for an industry to maintain its prominence. So when we say Hollywood is going to die, it's the Hollywood of the 20th century is pretty much already dead. What we have is like a zombie Hollywood that will continue on because of corporate mergers and being bought out, but it will become a side hustle for Silicon Valley. And either way, in this scenario, Hollywood loses two major studios, technically. They do. And listen, Ellison, he's going to be a better leader than Sherry Redstone was. She was a fucking retard. And the people running Paramount for years were fucking retards. That's why they're in debt. The people who are running Warner Brothers, particularly from the time, I would say in the last 6 or 7 years prior to Zaslav getting there, were fucking retards. Were highly paid window lickers who didn't know what to do with some of the greatest IP in the world. One of the Warner Brothers CEO got his big break in Hollywood stealing a fucking script. And they let that guy run it, and that's who Zaslav took over for. I'll just say that. Oh, and if that person wants to ever try to deny that or try to go after me for saying anything, because I know there is an NDA involved, try. Because I know he watches every one of my live streams. The script was for Frequency. And his last name is Emmerich. Okay, so Paramount Skydance sues Warner Brothers Discovery seeking financial details on the Netflix deal. So your competitor, and maybe this works. Again, the financial analysts would have to explain this to me. Hang on. Why am I blurry? Why am I blurry? Is there an ad there? Hang on. One moment. There we go. My apologies. So yeah, I mean, can you just get access to somebody's deal? Paramount Skydance's hostile takeover effort of Warner Brothers Discovery has taken a legal turn. David Ellison's Paramount Skydance on Monday sued Warner Brothers Discovery seeking to force WBD to disclose. God, when they all merge, it's going to be Warner Brothers Discovery, Netflix, Paramount Skydance, Disney, fucking MGM, Amazon Prime Hollywood. Like, what the fuck? David Ellison's Paramount Skydance on Monday sued Warner Brothers Discovery, seeking to force WBD to disclose financial details of its $83 billion deal with Netflix. Oh, I'm sure. Paramount also officially announced plans to launch a proxy fight for WBD. The company said it will nominate a slate of directors who, in accordance with their fiduciary duties, will exercise WBD's right under the Netflix agreement to exchange on Paramount's offer and enter into a transaction with Paramount. The litigation comes after the board of Warner Brothers Discovery rejected Paramount's latest $30 a share overall cash bid for WB in its entirety. The eighth offer put forward by Ellison with backers, including his wealthy father, Larry Ellison. WBD has failed to include any disclosure about how it valued the global network sub-equity, how it valued the overall Netflix transaction, how the purchase price reduced for debt works in the Netflix transaction, or even with the basis for its risk adjustment of our $30 per share cash offer. Paramount chairman and CEO David Ellison wrote in an open letter to WBD shareholders on Monday. Paramount on Monday filed suit in Delaware Chancery Court to ask the court to simply direct WBD to provide this information so the WBD shareholders have what they need to be able to make an informed decision as whether or not to tender shares for an offer. It's getting ugly, and basically what they're saying is something ain't right. Ellison's.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's Ellison right now. And something probably isn't right. I don't know what difference it makes. I really don't. But something ain't right. So no Cuties season 2. Well, it's a movie, and they could make a sequel. I mean, it's fucking France. And it's fucking Netflix. So we do not take any of these actions lightly, Ellison wrote to a letter to WBD shareholders. Make no mistake, our goal remains to have constructive discussions with WBD's board to reach an agreement that is in the best interest for WBD shareholders, because, man, Ellison is just looking out for you, the shareholders. Forget the inner IP and wanting to buy his way into Hollywood and being a Nepo baby. He cares about the shareholders. We remain perplexed that WBD never responded to our December 4th offer, never attempted to clarify or negotiate any of the terms of its proposal, nor traded markups or contracts with us. Excuse me. Oh, whoops. I missed my button. I apologize, everybody. My cough button. So I don't care enough to break down financially what this means between who and who. I'm just going to say, as a big fucking dummy, it just looks like Zaslav likes Netflix more, gets a better deal, gets a better personal deal, and it's worked out for the shareholders pretty well so far, considering where the stock was. And it sounds like they just don't want to sell to Paramount. Now, Paramount would probably be better. Probably would. Probably pass government muster. A little better. Hang on. One moment. Here it is. Here it is. Is that? Hang on. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. So, you know who Hollywood's in a tough position, especially after last night. Especially after last night, a couple people talking about ICE and what's her name who got shot in the face. Good. Her last name was Good. Got shot by an ICE agent trying to run him over. And I talked about it last week. It's I had been personally in a lot of negative interactions with the police. And while I did get my ass kicked quite a bit, deserved it sometimes, didn't deserve it others. Got some flashlight therapy from the sheriffs in the county jail. That hurts. Never got shot. Never got shot. Number one, they had guns. I did not. Number two, they have backup. I did not. They have radios so they can call more backup. I did not. They have the power of the state behind them. I did not. And more often than not, I was in the wrong. A lot more often than not. And I just had this moment of clarity, no matter how drug-addled, and I was on a lot of drugs, but I had this moment of clarity that a night, a week, a month, a couple of years locked up is better than dying. Live to fight another day. Right or wrong doesn't matter in a split second, especially when you are even perceived to be accelerating in a giant 2-ton vehicle at somebody who's armed. And I think a lot of that has to do with there is a lot of women in this country who we joke about accountability, but they really feel extra protected. So consequences don't even cross their mind. Don't even cross their mind. But so a lot of people are talking about ICE at Golden Globes. But the person, one singular person Hollywood's going to need in this scenario, the same Hollywood that all hate Netflix now, but when this is all said and done, will all work for Netflix, They need Daddy Trump to save them from this bad deal that was created by them, that was created by their unions, that was created by their industry, that pissed off half the country, made a bunch of shit, tried to, the messaging and propaganda got to ridiculous levels, still is. Oh, and they haven't learned a fucking thing. They're going to give one battle after another. It's going to sweep the fucking Oscars. But yeah, we got Paramount sues Warner Brothers. Trump implies opposition to Netflix's WB deal. Stop the cultural takeover. Update. Paramount CEO David Ellison informed Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders on Monday that the company will be taking them to court, initiating legal action, blah, blah, blah. So what's going on here exactly? A simple retweet is being taken about more this morning, talked about more this morning than the Golden Globes, which might say more about the ceremony than the retweet itself. Yes, Donald Trump, him again, has seemingly sort of finally taken a side on the Netflix Paramount bid to acquire Warner Brothers, and it may have been David Ellison. Now, this article will frame it as this is Ellison's Trump's buddy, right? So he's favoring his buddy. And that's how normally that's how they would word it. But Hollywood's in a quandary because they want to hate Ellison for his supposed links to Trump. But they can't side with Netflix either because they want to not put anything in theaters. What do you do if you're in Hollywood? What do you do? To be a fly in the room of a Hollywood actor who's trying to decide what their opinion is by, doing marketing research with their assistants. Obama does work with Netflix. He does. He's got a deal. And it's propaganda. And he was planting the seeds of his, that's where he was going to go. Well, it wasn't his only destination, but listen, it's not an accident that all of the propagandizing really ramped up during his very uniting presidency and then got even worse after he left because a bunch of people from his administration started working in Hollywood. But it's a total coincidence, everybody. It's a total coincidence. Major Hollywood screenwriters were writing speeches for Joe Biden. It's all a coincidence, though. But yeah, so Trump, where is, sorry, I'm in the wrong, where is his, there it is. And that's all he posted. Stop the Netflix cultural takeover. It's the worst takeover. But he might have just seen, Stranger Things 5. He could have just got to episode 7. Like, we don't know. We don't know. This simple retweet from Trump may have ruined Netflix's and Warner Brothers' night at the Globes. They know there are three more years of Trump left in the White House and that his DOJ has its knives sharpened, ready to review the deal, bringing intense scrutiny and plenty of headaches in the process. It won't be smooth sailing. The same deal that you are all in Hollywood calling a monopoly, which I hate to break it to you, it's not. It's not. You might not like it. I might not like it. Hollywood might not like it. Doesn't matter what I like or not. It's not. Quite honestly, that's probably exactly what Trump wants. The retweet seems to send the message to WBD's David Zaslav, who supposedly was a buddy with, well, at least friendly with Trump too. and the company's board that he prefers Paramount in this fight. It's also the first time the president has publicly weighed in on the matter, seemingly siding with the Ellisons. Well, last time I think he said he's staying out of it. But one sentence can drive, I mean, most influential man in Hollywood is President Trump. One sentence can make an industry scramble. You think if Bush said something like that, they would give two fucks? They wouldn't. And then there's Mark Ruffalo. Oh, okay. So the Golden Globes, I can't, guys, I'm not going to listen to Mark Ruffalo. He just said Trump's the worst thing ever. I think he called him like a pedo. And like, that's on, what network was that on? Because that could get that network sued. But he talked about the shooting and he's just fucking Mark Ruffalo. So there wasn't as much of that. There were people wearing pins like "Be Good" or something like that, but it wasn't overwhelming what I saw. It was your typical people. I know Wanda Sykes tried to throw a little shade at Ricky Gervais. Dude, she is taking a butter knife to a gunfight. She should not do that. I mean, it's bad enough that she's a female comedian, already not funny, but you're going against the GOAT. By the way, his last special on Netflix was really good. Go check it out. And his monologue at the 2020 Golden Globes is the greatest monologue of any award show ever. Said it at the time. Nothing has changed. But Amy Poehler won Best Podcaster. Big shock. They throw podcaster into the fucking Emmys, and they give it to one of their own. It's so Hollywood. Oh, we're going to try to incorporate this thing that's killing us and give it an award to throw it a bone, and then we'll give it to one of our own. The first Best Podcaster award should go to Joe Rogan. It should. He used to be one of them. Yeah, I would take Conan O'Brien, who's still a moron politically, but at least he's not as obnoxious as all the others. By the way, how's Haiti, Conan? Pretty safe to go. You're going to take a vacation to Haiti anytime soon? Just curious. Adam Curry would be better and more deserved. Absolutely, Adam Curry. But that was a joke. Where are X-Ray Girl? You out there? Find me a list of winners, please. Just a list of winners. Or are there right there? Oh, here it is right there. Never mind. I got it. It's going to be totally shocking to you guys, I know. Totally shocking. Now the Golden Globes I mean, all award shows are jokes, but it's always been kind of a joke. So they just combine TV and film. I'm sure their ratings will be terrible. Golden Globes 2026 winners, one battle after another, everybody, earns 4 awards. Adolescence, which was the show on Netflix that was where they race swapped the story of the kid to a white kid. Race swap. So they can send a certain message about what's really dangerous in the UK. And I'm not shocked at all any of these won. One battle after another, a blistering satire about radical politics, and Hamnet, a look at William Shakespeare's complicated domestic life, took top prizes at the 83rd Global Awards. The studio, a send-up of Hollywood, was named Best TV Series, Musical, and Comedy, and The Pit, which takes place in Overstretched Hospital, won Best TV Series. Best Limited or Anthology Series went to Adolescence, the story of a murder investigation that unfolds in one continuous shot. The Globes, unlike the Oscars, delineates film by genre. That meant one battle after another won Best Musical Comedy. While Hamnet was crowned Best Picture Drama. And now, one battle after another, already reviewed it, already watched it. Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, is one of the most overrated directors in the history of Hollywood. He's certainly done some good stuff that I like, but it's all his older stuff. One battle after another was incredibly overpraised because of its politics. Now, did you hear what they just called it? A satire of radical politics. Well, the radical politics of Antifa are a satire, so it's a little hard to parody that. It's also a little hard to parody something that the filmmaker agrees with. The filmmaker agrees with, but it's going to win them all. And it's going to do that because the voters think they'll be putting a middle finger up to Trump, the most influential man in Hollywood. They think about him every day, night and day. They obsess over him. Instead of thinking about things like making better movies and fixing your industry. Nikki Glaser returned as the MC for the second year in a row. In her opening monologue, she poked fun at everything from Barry Weiss. Because listen, I'm not breaking out the pom-poms for Barry Weiss, but at least she isn't like the legacy media machine. Now, to say that she's not a media machine and doesn't have heavy financial backing from certain, we'll just say, entities would not be true. This narrative of she's one of us, she's an independent news source getting in there. It's like, no, she used to work for the fucking New York Times. And yes, she pissed off the New York Times and she went off the reservation a little bit and called out COVID, and that's great. And she did the Twitter files, which were great. But there's like certain people in Hollywood thinking she's like MAGA, and it's like, no. Will does CBS have now? Should CBS take the new host of the evening news came out and said, "Hey, we're going to try to be authentic." That's essentially what a speech is. That's totally what you should do. That would be different from everything else. We'll see. We will see. But them calling out like Barry Weiss, so brave. See BS news, see bullshit news. Oh, because my God, all the other news has been just top notch. Epstein Files best editing goes to the Justice Department. That's actually kind of funny. To Warner Brothers pending sale of Netflix, she also lampooned Hollywood's self-obsessed, calling Globes without a doubt the most important thing that's happened in the world right now. There were more somber reminders of politics on display. Celebrities such as Mark Ruffalo and Wanda Sykes wore pins. In the video, Mark Ruffalo was talking about how scared he is at this award show surrounded by armed security and people wearing $100,000 dresses and $250,000 necklaces, where he can run back to the safety of his cozy mansion in one of his houses, because he has one in the Bay Area too, behind giant walls. He's scared. Several winners use their time on stage to urge viewers to exhibit compassion and understanding. Really? Sinners won Best Cinematic Box Office Achievement. Sykes presented the award for Best Stand-Up Special, trolled Ricky Gervais for his past trans jokes and being an atheist. The comic wasn't in the ballroom when he won for morality, so Sykes accepted it, thanking his God and the trans community. Chris covered it last night. He did send me an invite. I trolled him in the chat saying I didn't need an invite, but he actually did. I was doing another show. I just wanted to give him shit. And the only question I have at this point is, why do we need award shows are going to fade into obscurity? They're only there for the actors. The who are you wearing and caring about any of this stuff is gonna become so niche that the Oscars being on YouTube, I hope we can react to them, by the way. I hope we can react to them. I can't see why not. But it's always been a fucking circle jerk. You're right. It's always been a fucking circle jerk. But we used to care when like movies that we actually watched got in it. But I went down I'm still going down this rabbit hole. I'm still formulating my thoughts on it. But I have said in the past, hey, anything that gets digitized loses its it loses its fear of missing out. It loses its event status. It loses its quality, and it makes any entertainment disposable. So I was watching, Napster and the whole Metallica debacle and Lars Ulrich and his big fucking mouth, and the music industry not recognizing, like, for instance, Napster was boosting CD sales. Yes, it was. It was actually boosting them. But how it fragmented, and that ended up being the end of the music industry. And now we have a music industry. I was talking about it last night. Rick Bieto was talking about the YouTuber. Great channel, by the way. Great channel. He was talking about the best songs of 2026 for the Grammys compared to the best songs of 1984. And it's such a joke. And one of the songs that's nominated for best song this year is just Gautier's Girl You Used to Know with new words. And I'm like, wow. It's just like Hollywood. Hollywood isn't taking any chances anymore. They're completely risk averse, except when it comes to the message. But they don't see that as risk averse. They see that as very safe. And what's Doomsday? Avengers Doomsday is basically kind of a greatest hits of Marvel coming back, not being very innovative. We're remaking animated films. We're now making sequels of remakes of animated films. We are now making midquels. They had to rename all this shit. I had to look it up. There's an interquel and an intraquel. They are two different things. There is a midquel. There is a requel. There is a sidequel. So they're inventing new terms, trying to shoehorn in things to timelines of previously established and better franchises created by better people instead of moving forward and making something new, which they're deathly afraid to do. Which doesn't make any sense because they're perfectly okay casting a lesbian James Bond. Like they would be perfectly okay doing that. They don't see that as a risk. As much of a risk as making something new or making something people like or not being so obsessed with identity and not doing market research on demographics before you make a fucking movie. But as Hollywood's obsession with identity has made them lose their identity. And they are going the same way of the music industry, which went from true innovation, a guy in his garage writing a song by himself. And now Taylor Swift has an army of 12 people writing one of her songs. And like how 12 people wrote that, I'm not really sure. But 21 people write for Stephen Colbert. About 15 people write for Jimmy Kimmel. Hollywood's going the same way. Look at how many producers are on a Star Trek show. Star Trek Discovery had 21 producers. 21. Oh, so it's going the same way. And once I totally formulate my thoughts and I can pinpoint, but it's almost exact, like the downfall of the music industry and where it's at now. Billy Corrigan was talking about it too. There's, I think, there's no bands anymore. There's no bands charting anymore. And all the bands touring are 100 years old. So it is a big loss to our culture. Our culture is in degrade. It's also the 20th century models are just dying and they're changing into something new and being fragmented. That part I'm not against. That part I'm not against. Good news is Godzilla Minus Zero releases in November 6th, 2026. Circle it on your calendars. Circle it on your calendars. We're going to get to the square up portion now. Andrew McCarty for $4.99 says, Gary, are you you're a comic book guy? You're going to read the One Piece comic, right? You mean the manga? I hear there's a colorized version online. Seems like an opportunity. I actually have them. Somebody sent a whole shitload of them to me. I'll just read them in black and white. I don't need color. I don't need the color. Hey, favorite Gary. Hey, favorite blue-eyed Scorpio. What's up? Thank you for the $1.99. I got my friend major post-crisis Batman events trade paperback because he loved the Dark Knight trilogy and Arkham, but I didn't realize that he was also a big Spider-Man and Iron Man fan. What should I recommend for him? Are your favorite runs? I would get, if you want to introduce him to Iron Man and he's never read it and he likes the movie, Extremis by Warren Ellis for Iron Man. For Spider-Man, it's a little more difficult because Spider-Man's just a good fucking comic. Like, so is Iron Man too, but like Spider-Man can be a consistently great comic. So It's a good entry point for Spider-Man. Just get him an omnibus. Start at the beginning. Depends on how good of a friend he is, Andrew. Depends. Like, don't start with Kraven's Last Hunt. People will always say that that's not a good starting place for Spider-Man. It's not a good starting place for Spider-Man. Get him. I know there's Epic collections. Find an Epic collection somewhere within issue 200 to 300. There's a lot of good stuff in there. That's good entry point stuff. Can't spell Gary without gay. Hey, it's true. Jesse Gender made a video saying Starfleet Academy is one of the best live action shows in the franchise. Can't imagine why they would have that opinion. Jesse Gender is what's left of the Star Trek fandom. Jesse Gender is what's left of the Star Trek fandom. They have gone full bore going after people like Jesse Gender and completely erasing any masculinity from the franchise. And it's a masculine franchise. It is a merit-based, masculine, patriarchal franchise. Period. Oh, Robert Picardo. Oh God, let's take a look at that real quick. Robert Picardo did the good old stay away, you bigots. The good old preemptive attack on fans before a show that everybody knows is a turd. There's a great video by Disbrew he released yesterday going over all the positive reviews that if you go past the headline, they're not so positive. They're not so positive. And we will once again be faced with a situation where Alan Ng tweeted about this too, where he will get criticized. By the way, Alan, old hat for us, buddy. We'll see something and go, wow, that looks like shit. And people go, you don't know. You haven't seen it. I'm like, you know what? There's a point where I go, you're right. I haven't seen it. It just looks like shit, but it could be good. Now I've seen enough to go, no, this will suck. This will suck. So where is... Ain't my first rodeo, ain't Alan Ng's. Alan Ng has been ridden hard and put away wet. Let's be real. We love him. Ng the Merciless. So Robert Picardo, who, I mean, let's be real, hasn't been working a lot, has been doing a lot of fan films, a lot of indie stuff because, he's a man of a certain age in Hollywood. And he was always like, he was a character actor that showed up a lot in the 80s and 90s. But he says this, long before the term existed, Star Trek's heart was woke. Man, I've never heard this before. And even though the word has been hijacked and made a cudgel to insult, to ridicule, and at the toxic, made a cudgel to insult, to ridicule, and at the toxic extremes of social media to justify prejudice and racism, Star Trek's heart is strong and still beating for those listening. Not enough people listening, buddy. Nobody's watching these shows. I just said bold strategy. Let's see how it works out for him because it's worked out so well for Star Wars and Lord of the Rings in particular, and with Star Trek in the past. It's not the first time they've done this. It's not the first time they have done this. Woke wasn't hijacked. Its definition changed because it became a singular word that can properly describe, particularly with Hollywood, the propagandizing of our entertainment. Put in its simplest terms. It changed. You lost it. You lost it. Star Trek. So tell me, Robert, why did so many conservatives or independent folk like me love Star Trek as a kid and loved it growing up? Because it was aspirational. Aspirational. Kurtzman Trek, I think it was Z3PO who pointed it out. He might have pointed it out right under here. It's gone, but I will paraphrase what he said. In 50 years, nobody will remember a second of Kurtzman Trek. Not a fucking second. People will recite lines, remember, and rewatch Star Trek movies, TNG, Voyager, and DS9, and maybe even some for Enterprise in 50 years. In 50 years' time, it will still be watched. Kurtzman Trek will be forgotten as the joke it is. No one can recite, well, I don't know, I probably can, but it's not for the right reasons. No one can recite any lines, their favorite scenes, top 10 moments. None of that shit is happening with Kurtzman Trek because it's all trash. It's not Star Trek. It's not aspirational. It's comical. It's a parody. And as Kurtzman himself said, it's a platform to help him push a message because that whore will do anything to stay employed. And Red Letter Media tweeted this out. It's pretty funny. Amazing how much they still care about Star Trek. Isn't it? This is Jay. I'm so excited for Star Trek Starfleet Academy. These official promo stills released by Paramount Plus are clutch. And on the left, we have the Klingon Jaden. Jaden, the ride or die. And then there's Darum, the lovable asshole. And we just did this. Hey, fellow Trekkers. and we went over it on FNT pretty thoroughly. This is going to be the acolyte of Star Trek. Maybe worse. A lot of people are saying, well, we'll say this about our Red Letter Media. I still enjoy their content outside of Star Wars. I think they've lost the plot on the thing that made their channel prominent. They really want to separate themselves from a lot of things, which is their right to do. But when they came out and said, well, why should you care about Star Wars? And they were clowning Star Wars theory, but you still care a lot about Star Trek. You care a lot about Star Trek. But yeah, that's going to be fun. I think it's currently sitting at, let's take a look. Rotten Tomatoes score is currently, from the critics, 85%. But again, I refer you to Disbrew's video where he breaks down what's actually said in these reviews, and it's pretty funny because they are not positive. And across the board, they're going, "This isn't Star Trek." It's some reviews call it Star Trek 90210. The Gem Hard R. Yes, R.I.P. Star Trek. R.I.P. Star Trek. Did you ever check out Eyes on Cinema YouTube channel? Lots of rare UAP vids. I haven't yet, but I will. Thank you for $4.99. JC Hero of Canton for $5. Hail. Didn't know about it until you mentioned it. Last Samurai Standing is phenomenal. Easy top 5 show of last year. It's fucking great. Absolutely great. Could you wax poetical on the Clone Saga for a bit? Of Star Wars? Or no, of Spider-Man. Wax poetical on the Clone Saga of Spider-Man. Briefly, I will tell you that at the time, it was considered the Spider-Man hit bottom. The Clone Saga was brought on us due to rights issues, but it did bring us Ben Reilly, who I liked. It got really messy at the end, but it turns out things can always get worse. And the happiest people on earth when One More Day came around were anybody involved with the Clone Saga, because they're all like, ooh, we good. Now they sell omnibuses of it. Hail, Doctor Who fell far after rewatch. Who's your favorite Doctor? My favorite Doctor is always going to be Tom Baker, period. But if we're going to go favorite Doctor aside, Tom Baker, the third Doctor, John Pertwee, for classic, and for New Who, it was David Tennant, but he came back and destroyed his legacy, so now it's Matt Smith. Matt Smith's run is great. Rewatching Stargate Atlantis, what a fun series. I'm starting. I can't really form an opinion yet. I'm engaged. But I'll let you guys know in a member stream on the main channel. I'm going to do like a block of episodes, maybe like the first quarter of Stargate SG1, which is just Stargate 1, right? But I only subscribe to you, only YouTuber who is humble. I'm the greatest one that no. Thanks, man. Nothing special. Just an idiot with a microphone and an internet connection. And to those out there who wonder what are my credentials or pedigree to be able to talk about entertainment, I have a microphone that works and an internet connection that works and a camera that works. Hey, Gary, on TOS season 1, episode 9. Dagger of the Mind. Listen, such a great season, dude. Falls apart in third season, but yeah. Genuinely stoked for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The showrunner, Ira Parker, is legit. I think we have a good one here. I think we do too. Jackson Perez, I do. I think there was a longer trailer. You want to look at it real quick? I do. I'm pretty sure I saw one come out. Yeah, 3 hours ago. I'm like, oh no, oh God. It's the podcast trailer. Yeah, let's watch this because there's parts of it that, like, hey, the footage is great, but then the podcast hosts are woo. Yeah, this is what I saw this morning. There. Yeah, it's the podcast trailer. What the hell? We'll look at it. I gotta admit, like one of the podcast hosts, I'm all, oh my god, that's a trans, but I think it's just a dude. I think it is just a dude. But you're never sure. I'm never sure these days. I think it's just a little dude. Hang on. Here we go.
He chose me to be a good knight, to defend the weak and the innocent, and I swore that I would.
He's a good dunk.
Time to get back to Westeros, people, because there's a new HBO original series set in the world of Game of Thrones, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
There sure is, Jason. This one is set about 100 years before the events of Game of Thrones, and it tells the tale of a lowly hedge knight named Sir Duncan the Tall and his squire, Egg. These two companions are going to journey to a jousting tournament, and it is going to test their friendship and honor and determine their destinies.
What's your name?
Sir Duncan the Tall.
Never heard of him.
Do you know every knight in the Seven Kingdoms then?
The good ones.
I'm Greta Johnson.
And I'm Jason Concepcion, and we are the hosts of the official Game of Thrones podcast, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. We are going to be talking about all the jousting.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know. I could be just a little dude. I have no idea. Show looks good though.
All the adventuring, all the unlikely friendships, and more in this new series based on George R.R. Martin's acclaimed Dunk and Egg novellas.
After every episode, we are going to be joined by people who helped make this show. We're going to hear from writers, cast, and crew. We're going to break down all of Dunk and Egg's adventures, all things knightly and unknightly. And ultimately, we're going to ask the question, what does it mean to be a true knight of the realm?
These men have a name. Training. What chance do I have? I have no chance.
Oh,
A Knight
that
of the
guy's
Seven
great.
Kingdoms
He was a
premieres
gentleman.
January 18th. But before the show comes out, we are going to set you up with everything you need to know about Dunk and Egg's journey, including an exclusive interview with the...
Did you ask him if he finished the fucking book? He's looking a little thinner, so that's good. Get healthy, George. Come on. Get healthy.
One and only George R.R. Martin.
And then starting on January 18th, new podcast episodes will come out right after the show airs on HBO or streams on HBO Max.
Or
listen
you
to
could
those-
just watch Nerdrotic right after the show with Mahler, Fringy, Shad, and Ryan. And I could speak for all of us. We're all looking forward to this.
wherever you get your podcasts. And now, for the first time, you can watch us in beautiful video on HBO Max.
Join us for this
I don't know if that's a great idea. Just gonna say.
tall tale. We are going to see you at the tourney.
Rob me, and I'll hunt you down with dogs.
You don't have dogs!
I'll get some.
Where?
Oh!
It's gonna be a very different Game of Thrones show. And I think you'll like it. Highly recommend the graphic novel. Art by Mike S. Miller. He does a great job on that. Highly recommend the graphic novel. As a matter of fact, that I got more enjoyment reading the graphic novel than the novel, which is usually I don't. I agree with this. Where did it go? Yes, I 100% agree with that. I was listening to his top 16 most magical people in A Song of Ice and Fire video last night. Different how? Oh, it's not completely filled with nihilism. You actually follow. There's only one. I don't see it as a problem. There's only one slight theorized problem with this character, which is really minor. But it's about chivalry. It's about a true knight, and I think George just wanted to write about a hero. who doesn't die. Sorry, I'm going to spoil it for you. Who doesn't die in this series? And Sir Duncan the Tall is like a true knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and one of the best. And he's big, and he's a good fighter. Unfortunately, this is also based on an unfinished book series. I'm just going to be real. That shouldn't surprise you. That shouldn't surprise you at all. But Fire and Blood, which is what House of the Dragon is based on, which is basically a wiki, a Targaryen wiki, is an unfinished book series. It's part one. The Tales of Dunk and Egg, what this is based on, unfinished book series. Of course, The Song of Ice and Fire is an unfinished book series. But at least House of the Dragon does have an ending. It does have an ending. This does not. Now, we know the ending. We know where these characters end when they're much older. Summerhall. Summerhall. Hail the Fellowship. Gary, tell me, what is your thought of Stargate, and why is it the best sci-fi show ever? Live long and prosper. Okay, so I watched the movie again, first time in over 30 years. I watched it in the theater when it came out. I was out of prison for not even a year when I saw it. So I was still getting readjusted to life. I was newly sober. I had massive PTSD from prison, couldn't sleep at night, all kinds of crazy shit. So I was a little angry young man back then. But so I went to a lot of movies and stuff. My attitude was a little different back then, but when I saw it, I didn't like it. So I watched it again. I'm like, hey, maybe I'll like it. The movie, we're talking about the movie, not the TV show. And the movie's still ass. The movie's still total ass. And I'll tell you why. Because Roland Emmerich is mostly a hack. As I said last night, he's better than Jar Jar Abrams because he's actually made a couple of movies that I like a lot. The Patriot and Independence Day. Love those movies. But I think he's mostly a hack. And with Stargate Atlantis, it was a great concept, a brilliant concept that probably led to it being a great TV show, is my guess. But poorly executed in a movie that felt hollow. It felt like an episode of just your random sci-fi show. They really didn't, outside of the Egyptian iconography and ideas, they didn't really do anything with it at all. Ra had like 4 henchmen, and a giant ship. And I know he was an alien. It's like it just felt hollow and empty. And I know it was the 90s, but they still had resources back then, and they were just running around in the desert in loincloths. And not really doing anything with the ancient astronaut theory. By the way, that being said, the godfather of the ancient astronaut theory passed away 2 days ago. Eric von Daniken, rest in peace, sir. Sip of coffee for you. 90 years old. Read all his books. And Roland should have read all his books. The problem with Roland Emmerich is he made a lot of genre entertainment and was not just a non-believer, a skeptic. So you're coming at this with the approach of skepticism, and it showed through the movie that you don't believe in conspiracies, you don't believe in ancient civilizations, you don't believe in UFOs. Whatever Spielberg is now, when he made Close Encounters, and Spielberg still believes in UFOs, is at least open to the idea. Nobody says you have to be a true blue believer, but you have to be open enough to the idea to where you do some research on the lore. And I don't know this for a fact. Matthew Hammond, or people can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but it feels like already watching the show that the showrunners are at least open to that idea. So they are more aware of the lore to expand that more in the show. So the show feels more authentic than the movie does. That's where I'm at right now. But I even have there's parts of Independence Day that are incredibly cheesy. But it's still a good movie, and I still like it. So that's where I'm at right now. I am already liking the show more than I like the movie. And I figured I would. And I'm going to continue through. I'm like, we're doing it all. I'm in for the long run. I'm not going to dip out or anything. I'm sure there'll be bad episodes. The third episode was bad. It was not good. But the first two-parter was pretty good. I liked it. One Piece had a new teaser today. As a fan, I am hopeful, but Lord, is it going to be a hard job to balance the weirdness and the earnestness, or why did I say East? And the earnestness. Yes. And that was a great balance in season one. That was a great balance in season one. Thank you for the $4.99. Let's see if they can carry that through. Have you seen Charlie Hopkinson? I have not. What is it on Twitter? Is it on YouTube? Not sure. I have not. Thank you for the €2. Gary, did you survive episode 3 of SG1 Emancipation? Barely. You've made it past the worst episode. We have a Stargate show on Thursday. Open invite. Cheers. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, every show has them. Thoughts on Sebastian Stan as Two-Face of Batman 2? Great casting. Super friend of man. Great casting. Could the Batman make more money than Man of Tomorrow? Yes. It could. Normally, I would say probably not, or they'd be even, but I think Penguin helped the Batman a lot. God, that's a good show. Thoughts on Landman's latest episode 9? Have not seen it. I got to wait to see it with the wife. Somebody spoiled it in the chat last night, but I won't say it here. Have you listened to the Chamber of Secrets audiocast? I have. Super fan of man. And outside of a dude playing Madame Pomfrey. It's really good. It's really fucking good. And now the books are going to get better because listen, Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets are not my favorite books. It's the later books when they get more adult. And that starts happening with Azkaban, which drops at midnight tonight. So next Thursday, not this coming Thursday, but a week from this coming Thursday, Ryan and I will be doing a Harry Potter live stream. WB shareholders received a letter from Paramount. Yes, Matthew Hammond. They're going to go for the proxy war. We'll see. Let's see how it works out for them. Listen, I'm breaking out my popcorn. Not theft if you are above the law, Gary. This is true, Eric. You are the law. Is that Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face toy? Two Spider-Mans to the right of the Superman logo. Your right or my right? Yes. So let's see if I get this right. That is a Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face right there. Yes. And that's a Joker. That is a Harlequin and Joker from Suicide Squad. That's a couple of Spider-Mans. There's Spider-Man 2099. There's Baron Zemo. There's Mary Jane. Brave and the Bold Batman without a mask on. Love that show. That is a Mezco Darkseid. I changed this a bit. A lot. Completely changed it out. So we got Conan and Clint and Mad Max, Captain Kirk, all the greats. But yeah, good eye. I read that one already. Hey, Gary, got my tracking sorted out for your book. Oh, good. Currently stuck in Elk Grove, Illinois, but at least I know it's somewhere. Thanks for the help, brother. Hell yeah. It like either will help you out or, I mean, Ripa will help you out too. They are on top of it. Gary, speaking of Japan, new One Piece trailer. We saw it. We covered it at the beginning of the show. You could rewind. Be kind and rewind. Armored Artisan. Thank you for the 2 Canadian pesos. Gary, make sure you visit Mandrake's store when you visit Japan. There are quite a few branches in Tokyo. You will love it. Nerd heaven. Oh, can't wait. Maybe the real One Piece is the governments we abolished along the way. Maybe. Gary, is Person of Interest worth watching and have re-listened till the middle of Stormfront, had forgotten the funny toot toot is. Person of Interest is worth watching, yes. For fuck's sake, cancel Disney Plus. GraphWeb. Let's repeat what I said last night and a couple streams ago. In a way, you're going to get your wish, but then you're not, if that makes sense at all. In a way, you're going to get your wish, but then you're not. So Disney purchased Fox for $72 billion. By the way, that's another studio gone. So in the last 7 years, is it 7 years now? We have lost 3 major studios in Hollywood. Fox, 20th Century effing Fox, the studio that released Star Wars, is gone. Doesn't exist anymore. Actually, if you want to throw in MGM, it's gone. Went to Amazon. So Fox went to Disney, MGM went to Amazon, Paramount just went to a production house, Skydance, and Warner Brothers is going to somebody. So that is terrible. And Disney's not even like an OG studio of Hollywood. It's older, but it is not a prominent movie producer, and wasn't until the 90s. Wasn't until the 90s. So MGM gone. Paramount gone. WB gone. Fox gone. That's terrible. So Disney buys Fox. And one of the reasons they buy Fox, aside from all the IP and everything, is to get access to Hulu. But they didn't own it all. Universal owned some of that. They bought them out. And in the meantime, Disney Plus, something they put billions and billions of dollars in before it even started up. Disney spent a lot of time poaching people from Netflix. I know, because I know one of them. And this was happening so early on. They were talking about streaming when I was working in Hollywood. Now, it was still called a set-top box at that time, but they were still making plans for streaming. I was working at Technicolor at the time, working in, doing kind of like a lot of shit. But metadata, QC, all that shit. But being first matters. So Netflix shows up on the scene. They start streaming, and followed by Hulu. So they're number 2. Disney wanted Hulu. Disney Plus, they spent a lot of money on, saw really early on it wasn't going to be enough, and they weren't going to be able to compete with just Disney titles. I think they maybe had the idea of, we're Disney, and kids will just sit down and watch our shit all fucking day long, and we'll rule. Not the case. Then you have Star Wars and Marvel. Oh, we'll watch that shit all day long. Problem is, most Marvel and Star Wars fans own their shit. They do. And the new stuff, even the older stuff, doesn't get watched as much as you would think. Now, it's still prominent, but it doesn't get watched as much as you think. Like, for example, Harry Potter is far more valuable to license because that shit gets rewatched all the time. All the time. Still, Bob Iger promised that D Plus would be profitable by 2024, and he kept his promise. D Plus made about $80,000. So they were in trouble. So they knew they had their backup plan of Hulu. And what they're going to do is they absorb Disney Plus into Hulu, but then they rename Hulu Disney Plus. And low information shareholders will only hear, bottom line, we have more subscribers now. We have more IP. We're going to start doing rated R stuff. Oh, look at our show, Shogun, which started out as a FX show, or The Bear, which started out as an FX show. Look at our show. Like, that's all Bob Iger does. That's probably why he's leaving very soon. So you're going to kind of get what you want. Thoughts on the movie, David? Haven't seen it. Have not seen it, Andrew McCarty. Gary, you were my first super chat. Never forget your first, do you? You were at Egypt Live, and I tried as hell, but no seat harp musical. LOL. Thank you for Last Samurai Standing. Epic. I don't know what I read there in the middle. Sorry, but Last Samurai Standing. Listen, I watched it because Disparu was praising it, and he was right. It is fucking fantastic. I think it was Disparu and Derek Anderson were both praising it. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. I trust those guys. Any thoughts on Insomniac Spider-Man games? Love the original. Have no interest in the full woke sequel. Also, getting pretty excited for One Piece Season 2. I like the first one. What little I played, yes, I actually played it. I got a PS4 specifically for that. Played the game for 3 or 4 hours. And then my son took the PS4 and I haven't seen it since. If the box office year is bad enough, I wonder if they'll double up on Return of the King 25th anniversary by doing another proper one in December. They should, but remember when they did Revenge of the Sith and then retarded Disney took it out of the theaters because they didn't want it to compete with other movies, which it wouldn't, by the way. See, this is where you over market research yourself to death. I saw this in comic books too, where you just do too much demographic research and you worry about release dates too much. And you're like, well, we don't want to release a game or a movie or a hit comic book. We don't want to release two on the same day. Why the fuck not? That would bring more people into the theater. And think about that mentality. You're trying to capture that first weekend. Well, weekend comprises of 2 days. So you could either see both movies in one day. You can see a movie Friday and Sunday or Saturday and Sunday. So the mentality that, well, release days are, once somebody plants their ass on a release date for a major release, you can't have it any other way, and you have to shift it around. I think that's stupid. But I also think it's stupid if you know you have a banger movie, which they don't anymore. But if you have like Spider-Man No Way Home would have done great whenever it was dropped. It could have been dropped in February, and that thing would have made the same fucking amount of money. Wouldn't have mattered at all. So, yes, I think they should release, it's Fellowship. So Fellowship's 25th anniversary is December. I think it's 18th, 17th, 18th. And they absolutely should do a full release a la Star Wars' 20th anniversary. Going to Japan in May, there is a sumo tournament in May in Osaka, I think. Not into sumo wrestling, but thank you. Hail, Gary, you think you and Adrian Curry could do a stream together? I think it would be a great conversation. She's a hoot to listen to. She's great. She's fantastic. Anytime, whenever she's ready. But I know like she's got her own thing going on, and but yes, absolutely would stream. I would, at the drop of a hat, I would stream with her. She's a based lady. Very cool. Go check out her channel. Go subscribe to Adrian Curry. She is brilliant. but I'd love to. People are confusing a monopoly with an oligopoly. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. The first try, Doge. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's bad. I am a big fan and proponent of the free market and capitalism, but I'm not this hyper corporatism that leads to oligarchy. Not a fan of. Not a fan of at all. I hate the decimation of the mom and pop shop. But what's funny, and I find it endlessly hilarious, that the socialists and the communists, which are no different, very, very anti-corporate, and I could be anti-corporate too, but you can say that at least when there's competition between now like 2 or 3 corporations instead of 5 or 10, there is still the slight chance, and I mean slight, for accountability. When the government takes over all corporations and all private property, they just become the biggest corporation with no competition or accountability. They're no different. No different. The only difference is there's no competition or accountability or even hope for accountability. But we'll all be able to walk through the prance through the flower fields and paint and blog and do Instagram whenever we want because all the money will be free. We can frolic in the communist utopia. Bungalist Wanger for $5. Hey, Gary, I just finished my first sci-fi short. Oh, good. I can email you a link if you'd like to take a look. It's only 7 minutes. Would love to hear your thoughts. You can email me. I can't react to it without seeing it on stream. 7 minutes a little long. Make a sizzle reel. Make a sizzle reel of like 30 seconds to a minute. Doge, but good luck and congratulations. 2025 original IPs included Mickey 17, yeah, The Electric State, Elio, One Battle After Another, G20. Are we asking for something new or something else? Well, we're still asking for something new. Not just because it's new doesn't guarantee it's going to be good. Electric State was bungled by the Russo brothers. It's actually a really good, the book it's based on is really fucking good. It's an art book, basically, but it's really good. And the Russo brothers took something that should have been very somber and post-apocalyptic and turned it into a Marvel movie, a bad one that was horribly cast. Mickey 17 had the pieces of a really good concept and a good absurdist sci-fi movie in the vein of British sci-fi from like the 80s. It could have been very Hitchhiker-like. It was not. They turned it into a Trump allegory and ruined it, which pretty much all new sci-fi is across the board. There's some kind of Trump allegory in it, and it just ruins it, and it dates it. One Battle After Another, it was original. Just wasn't very good. G20 was hilarious. How dare you speak ill of G20? But no, we still want something new. It's just, it's not all going to be good. I mean, some will say Sinners was original. I will say, man, you're pushing it with that. But I guess technically, if you just made The Black From Dusk Till Dawn set in Mississippi. I've been saying this for years. The point of ESG scores was not to give companies cheaper loans. It was to financially ruin them so they'd all have to sell. First one's free, kid. It's not a bad angle. Gary, not sure if you've talked about this, your start of Stargate rabbit hole. Questions, concerns, praises, bitches, gripes, groans. Not far enough to have any yet. I'm still just kind of curious. I figure if I get like 6 or 7 episodes in, I'll start to have questions. Starfleet Idiocracy equals Star Trek antithesis. Yes. Well, it's not Star Trek. They don't understand Star Trek. It is Star Trek made by people who don't like Star Trek for people who don't like Star Trek. Could Hollywood have avoided its digital demise? No. They needed. I think they were way more prepared to deal with it than the music industry was, and they still faltered. And if anything, they went too hard the other way. Squeak. They went too hard the other way. They went all in during COVID for streaming, and they just thought it would be like that forever. They're like, oh, we're in the money now. And not considering like, oh, what happens when people can go outside? Picardo as a Stargate in Stargate is a bureaucratic antagonist. Well cast. Yo, Gary, have you heard of the security guard story of how it was to fight the U.S. military? LOL. If it's true, it wouldn't surprise me if we use sonic weapons. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on Forbidden Frontier last night. We have sonic weapons. We do. We have sonic weapons that can make you throw up, bleed through your nose. These things exist. Did they use them there? Don't know. But it was that whole operation to get Maduro was barely an inconvenience. A blowy with Klingon teeth will scar you for life. Yes, it will, Slain Hope. Yes, it will. Star Trek dead. The thing. Oh, Star Trek is dead. That's the thing that me and my dad bonded over. Yep. And it's long dead. New live action One Piece trailer dropped. Will you react? I did at the very beginning of the live stream. You can rewind. I liked it. Morawa. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate it. Greedy Grifty for $4.99. Ironically, the Gautier song sampled from the 1967 song Seville by Louis Bonfa. So it's copy of a copy of a copy. Yes. Yeah. Rick Bieto. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Sorry. Again, very good channel. Talks about that. I highly recommend that video. It just came out like within the last week. And I think it's what's it called? Let's get it. I can get you the proper title just to give the man his cred. I think it's something like Proof Music is Dying or something like that. Yeah. The 2026 Grammys, Proof Music is getting worse. And you can apply that to culture. The new episode of Landman was incredible. I can't wait to see it. Going to see it with the missus. So, Gary, name one person out of the 3 RLM people who knows nothing about Star Trek. Mike, Rick, or Jay? Jay. Jay. And that was the whole point of that. Yeah, I know the tweet. It was Jay. Big Worm 69 for $5. RE Stargate movie agreed. The movie was weak. I don't think he and Spader were really into it. The show is amazing once it really gets its footing. Excellent. Excellent. Roland Emmerich has a great conspiracy theory movie about Shakespeare authorship. It's called Anonymous. Is that Shakespeare didn't write his plays? Yeah. Charlie reacts to Lord of the Rings in Harry Potter Charlie reacts to Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter in character, funny as fuck. Oh, okay, got it. Is that the okay? I know who that is. Best SG1 season 1 episodes are Thor's Hammer and the Nox. Then I think next season, the Crystal Skull. Roger Green for 100 yen says you need to stick around. It takes a minute to get going. Stargate is awesome. Next gen Battlestar Galactica and Stargate are all my go-to shows. Glad you started. Yeah, I'll stick around. The world has been marked safe for Man of the Year from Dean Spanos touching the Lombardi Trophy. Fuck that guy. Oh, yeah, I was going off. Every time they lose in the playoffs, I fucking troll them a little bit. I have to. It's my job as an anti-fan. I'm torn. Okay. I'm a little torn when it comes to the Chargers. And the reason I'm torn is, well, I don't live in San Diego anymore. Fuck California. But through my being a fan of that team, I thought my oldest son would become a Niners fan for sure. I took him to a bunch of Niners games. They were okay, right? No, my son became a Charger fan. He loved LT. He loved Phillip Rivers. So now my son's like this diehard Charger fan. And I'm like, well, now I can't totally hate them because my son loves them. Now, and my son's fully aware that Dean Spanos sucks. But the only future for the San Diego Chargers, sorry, sports ball here, is to move back to San Diego. And I think they eventually will. Probably post Spanos, but they're just renting the fucking stadium. Now, the value of the team went up, went way up, but they're never, ever, ever going to compete against the Dodgers, the Lakers. They're the Clippers of the NFL. They're going to be forever cursed. Spanos is a terrible owner who cannot make a good decision to save his life. They're wasting a decent quarterback. I'm not going to call him the GOAT, but the offensive line was fucking terrible this year. And they deserve to lose. They shouldn't even have been in the playoffs, to be real. They like backed into the fucking playoffs. And they're never going to win a thing in LA, and LA's never going to embrace them. Ever, ever, ever. Like, if any other team should have gone to LA, it should have been the Raiders. The Raiders would have been embraced in LA. Now, a bunch of teams going to Vegas is going to turn out to be a really fucking bad idea in about 10 years when Vegas, when their economy collapses, which might happen, which very well might happen because the tourism is going down. And yeah, it might be a really bad idea. Maybe the A's won't go there. I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised in my lifetime if the Chargers came back to San Diego, but that would require San Diego like removing the stick out of their ass and building helping to build a stadium. But no taxpayer money should go towards a stadium for the NFL, which is the biggest sport in the fucking world. They can build their own stadiums. Fuck that. So yeah, they'll never be embraced and they'll never win a fucking thing with Dean Spanos. So when they lose, it's like, it used to ruin my week. It used to ruin my entire fucking week. Now I just go, I send a little text message to my son. Sorry, I made you a Charger fan. Curious, what comic series do you think should be adapted into animation? I always liked Extinction Agenda from X-Men. X-Men kidnapped by Genosha. Annihilation. Said it before, we'll say it again. Missed opportunity not to rename Disney Plus and Hulu to Delulu. Remember when they made bad feminist movies on purpose? Zombie strippers, death of the supermodels, etc. Thanks, Gary, for the show. I know. Just had to put my cat down. And, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. And now I'm flying to KC, Kansas City for the funeral. Pray for this one. Starting a new job as soon as I'm back. Rook taking rooks. Good. Sorry about your kitty cat. Rest in peace, kitty cat. Good luck on your on the new work. That's rough. Gary, your Chargers kind of shat the bed. Herbert and Harbaugh for that. Yeesh. All Ryan said is he was going to raid your ass from Daily. I started late. Yeah. Congratulations to Ryan's Bears. I'm really fucking happy for Ryan. I like to see Ryan happy, and the Bears fans have been suffering for a long time. Like, I guess I could be a Packers fan because I'm technically a part-time resident of Wisconsin, and family members own stock. My in-laws own stock in the Packers, and they're all diehard Packer fans. And I've actually been to a lot of games at Lambeau. Lambeau's a great stadium, by the way. Fantastic stadium, fun place, food's good, atmosphere is good. But I'm happy for the Bears. I don't. Football's gay. The fact that the Redskins are gone, I think everybody, even like the Chargers leaving San Diego, it's one of the top 3 worst moves of a team, not the worst. Modell moving the Browns when they were still like super, that was terrible. Bud Adams moving the Oilers was fucking awful. The Colts leaving Irsay, taking the Colts out in the middle of the night. I remember all this. Georgia Frontieri removing the Rams from Los Angeles to St. Louis. And they came back. The Raiders eventually came back to Oakland for a little while. San Diego is a perfect place for a Super Bowl. It's a perfect place for a Super Bowl. But, yeah, I don't think they're getting a team back. I just don't. I think the Chargers are the only option. But they will always suck. They'll always get like pretty deep in the playoffs, occasionally to an AFC championship, and I mean really occasionally. And then they'll lose in some unbelievably fucking retarded way. They know how to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. How about a sequel to Ghost Tits? I agree. We should make a sequel to Ghost Tits. Sorry for the South African pesos, but if you want corrupt government, you should see ours. Thank you again for the entertainment. Oh, it's all good. Dude, it's your money. That's where you live, Kelly. I'm sorry about your corrupt government. You might have to leave. How bad is it getting there? It's not that Hollywood can't change. It's that they don't want to change. They just want to virtue signal and scream red team bad for their little bubble. Yes, because they don't think they're wrong. The Grizzly, they roll out of the rack every morning thinking, politically, I am on the right side of history. I have got it all figured out. I am the hero of my own story. I mean, I think, Drunk said it today. They all have main character syndrome. And why wouldn't they? They're actors. So life is just a big movie for them. And we're all side players meant to hit our marks, know our roles. But like a Wanda Sykes or a Pedro Pascal or a Mark Ruffalo, when they get up in the morning, and this is just a guess, but I don't think I'm wrong. When they get up in the morning, they plan out scenarios. They plan out what they're going to say for the day. And they're going to try to work it into conversation. I promise you, fucking Mark Ruffalo probably talks about politics 24/7 and tries to work it into conversation. That was the one thing I noticed about San Franciscans. Not all, but a lot. They really love to fucking talk about politics. They really want to talk about it all the fucking time. And they work it in the strangest ways in conversation. So yes, I wouldn't be surprised if Pedro Pascal or anybody from the Grammys stares in the mirror every morning, practices some potential conversations before they go out for the day. Because we're all just acting in their fucking movie. Speaking of sonic weapons, Guile from Street Fighter 2 had a hell of a sonic boom. Hope he's in the upcoming film To My Old my old home, San Antonio. Ah, Texas War Eagle. I like it here. It's mellow. Appreciate you, Gary. UK visit soon? Yes. I can't say exactly when, but yes. Absolutely yes. Your government is fucking insane, but I love your country. I love visiting your country. The countryside is like, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Up in the north, up in the area where Az lives, it's fucking gorgeous, man. It's rolling hills and countryside. God's country. That's what it is. If your government wasn't insane and it wasn't so fucking expensive, I might consider living there. The Cotswolds are fucking magnificent. Oxfordshire, that whole area, fucking magnificent. Love it. Can't wait to go back. Can't wait to go back. John X 42 for $20. Hey Gary, just wondering if you played Dispatch yet. I have not. But I will. That one's pretty easy. You know what? I want to kind of play The Wolf Among Us again. I love that Telltale game. That was fucking great. The concept of IDIC or infinity diversity, the concept of IDIC, which is infinite diversity, infinite combinations, was mentioned for the first time in the TOS episode. Is there in truth no beauty? Gene Roddenberry had manufactured an amulet like the one as showed with a circle and a triangle to sell it. That was the button that Az showed earlier. I mean, what's the difference? Shad, Az, same thing. Article 7 of the UN Convention and the International Criminal Tribunal states forced to witness abuse can constitute as psychological torture. This is recognized internationally as a crime against humanity. Be careful, Gary. This show might cross the line. You think? Our show, according to YouTube, has crossed the line quite a bit, but we got age restricted on Mikey's last episode. But I got to be real. It's never going to be perfect on YouTube. But as far as being censorious, they've backed off on a lot of things, but there's still a couple of things you cannot touch. And it's fucking bizarre and it raises a lot of questions. But our friend Cecil got nuked for questioning one of those things. So it ain't paradise here yet. And you can still speak completely freely on Rumble where Cecil is. So if you want to go support our buddy Cecil Says, good dude. He is on Rumble. I think he live streams every day. And I'm going to be real. His hopes of getting back on YouTube in any real way are not hopes, but chances are, I don't think they're great. I wish I could say otherwise. I don't think they're great, which is a shame. Because Cecil's really fucking funny. Really funny dude. Genuinely funny dude. I don't know if he'd want to work for somebody else, but somebody should I don't know. Who would Cecil be a good fit for? Who would Cecil be a good fit for? Well, somebody bigger than FNT. FNT ain't gonna pay Cecil's bills. So I like he could shake Crowder up. Like an established show to hire him. I don't know if he wants to work in it. I'm just fucking brainstorming for him. Oh no, he makes a good team with Gundam. Makes a real good team with Gundam. No, it has to be it would have to be like really established place. I see the quartering. I don't know. Tim Pool. Maybe. He would be an asset. If anybody out there's listening, Rumble, if you're listening. Pierce Morgan, he would be great on Piers Morgan. Cecil would be fucking magnificent on Piers Morgan. Alex Stein, but what's Alex doing? He's doing something on his own now, right? Jimmy Dore. Oh God, Kurt Metzger and Cecil. Kino Casino. He'd be good on Kino's Casino. He would be. Cecil's in a he goes way back to like when Comicsgate was a customer movement. Ooh, how long ago was that? 20. When did it stop being a customer movement? 2020? Long fucking time ago. Long time ago. I don't keep track though. Eric Son Lee for $5 says, would love to see a live action Warcraft series with Amazon type funds. I'm glad you put that caveat there. Amazon type funds. Make it dark and brutal. It would have to be heavy CG since your average orc grunt is bigger than the mountain from Game of Thrones. Yeah, I watched the Warcraft movie and I didn't like totally hate it. I don't remember totally hating it. Just thinking of meh. But I think I'd rather see Warhammer. Warhammer. I was talking with Jeremy about comics, and he asked me who was my favorite out of all the X-Men. He didn't like the answer. Apparently, Caitlyn Jenner doesn't count, and neither does Elliot Page, as he's an ex-woman. You just can't win with this guy, says Ryan Kinnell. Oh, I'd have to pick I'd take Caitlyn Jenner in a fight with Elliot Page. Ken B has gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership. Jesus Davila has gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership. And Karadwin has gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership. Thank you very much. Monster Huntress Rune for $1.99 says Stranger Things on WWE Raw worse than season 5. Season 5 was fucking terrible. Made much worse by me rewatching it. And the worst thing about season 5 is it ruins the previous seasons in a lot of ways. You would have to rewatch it, either not watching season 5 and just trying to erase it from your memory, because in context, when you go back, so many things they set up were either never wrapped up. That was mostly the case. Never wrapped up, forgotten about. And the fan theories, 10 times out of 10 were better than what we got. And this, this whole concept of the cream rises to the crop, Hollywood has the best of the best, is just objectively not fucking true anymore. I think there was a time it was true. The best of the best went to Hollywood. Sure, they would miss, some people. Listen, there's people with tons of fucking talent. As a matter of fact, this is the majority. Is there are people with tons of potential and tons of talent that go to Hollywood, but they don't have what it takes to go the rest of the way. They don't have, well, no, we're not talking about casting couch and stuff like that. That's a whole different thing. We're talking about not that stuff. They don't have drive, they don't have work ethic, and they don't have business acumen. Because you need all of those things along with talent to make it. And in a lot of cases, ability to work with others, which admittedly, a lot of directors have made it pretty far being complete fucking assholes. Stanley Kubrick, who can back it up. I have no problem Stanley Kubrick being an asshole. James Cameron used to be able to back it up. I've never heard anything well, I have heard horrible things about Steven Spielberg, but not when he was directing a movie. Yeah, you need to somewhat be able to collaborate. You need to have a work ethic. You need to have drive. You need to be consistent, and you need to be good. That's a lot of things. And that counts out a lot of people with just pure God-given talent, which is a shame, but that's the way it goes. But the whole Hollywood has the best of the best writers, the best editors, the best producers. That is just not fucking true anymore. They don't have the best editors. The editing in Hollywood has gone to shit. Absolute shit. When it's easier now than ever, by the way. Editing is easier now than ever. Effects have gone to shit. Acting has gone to shit. But most importantly, writing has gone to shit. And they're going to lose out on their talent pool, right? So now that more people with talent have an option to not go through them, I mean, the allure of validation through corporation is still there. It's still there, but that's going to evaporate. So the allure of, I worked for Disney, I worked for Universal, and that gives me legitimacy. That's fading. That's fading. So I worked for Marvel. Okay, when? Was it Paramount Marvel, early Disney Marvel, or current Disney Marvel? Because we need to make these distinctions. We need to make these distinctions. And I think it's an old school of thought now where I need to get validation from studio and corporation. That makes me better than you. Does it though? Really? Guess we'll find out. Because I would say it's the work. And now you can do the work on your own. No excuses. It's all in your hands. You have no producers screaming over your neck, telling you what to fucking do. HR departments, fucking DEI regulations. None of that. You can create with no barriers. So the person with the work ethic and stuff is going to go out there. And believe me, there's big time directors who are going off the reservation now. They're about to. They're about to. Hale, many of your topics inspired my songs. Any chance of a shout out on my new music channel? Is it Michael David? Is it just the Michael David channel? Is that what it's called? Absolutely. Yeah. Of course. Check out I think it's Michael David. But always, if you want to shout out, put in the name of the channel. That's very helpful. Strevin for $10. Somebody should make a movie about American slavery and race swap all the characters. That would be a great skit. Netflix's Roots. Oh my God. We'll know we've healed as a nation when we can make a skit like that. And I mean, it is, and not a skit from like Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle could get away with it. No, it's got to be white people made this skit. And we know we've healed as a country when everybody could just laugh at that, right? Because it's a fucking joke. And it's a joke on Netflix. It's not really a commentary on anything else. And when everybody could laugh at that, or most everybody, we know we've healed. "12 Years of White." Listen, there. If they made that skit, there would be plenty of people who got upset. But I bet you a ton of brothers would laugh their fucking asses off at it. But see, you could have to lean into the you'd have to lean into the joke, so you don't, you have them talking like white people. So, yeah, ow, that whip really hurts. That would be fucking hilarious. 12 years at Karen. Oh shit. I can't wait till we get our sense of humor back. I really can't. Go Raiders, Vato. You're a Raiders fan? Paulie? God, it's bad enough you're a Dodgers fan. You're a fucking Raiders fan? They left your city. Why aren't you a Rams fan? Paulie living up to the stereotype, being a Raiders fan. Just kidding, Paulie. I love you. What's up, my sober brother? Yep, Dodgers, best team money can buy, Ohtani's greatest baseball player I've ever seen. With my own eyes. It's just he's fucking Babe Ruth, man. He can pitch. Not great all the time, but he can pitch. It's insane. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. Ever thought I'd see that in my lifetime. So, if I was a bet man, Paulie, I'd bet on Ohtani. Just like he is. And then he throws his friend under the bus. I love how sports is embracing gambling and they still like get people in trouble for it's like at that point. It's gonna I don't think it'll lead to trouble with baseball or football, but it certainly can with the NBA. If you want to ask me what sport do I think gets fixed the most, it is the NBA. 100%. Been to Edinburgh lately? I'll be there this summer. I have not. I worked for the Skins. I agree about ditching football once you saw that a loss would ruin you for days. When what's supposed to be fun does not, it's time to bail. P.S. Spanos was wasted Stan Humphries. I love Stan. Stan Humphries had a fucking arm. Dude had an arm. That pudgy little, he looked like a pudgy little dude out there. Stan was awesome. Took us to our only Super Bowl. Tony Martin, Natron Means, Stan Humphries, Junior Seau, RIP. Dude, San Diego lost 2 sports legends within a couple of years. Junior Seau and Tony Gwynn. That was rough. Hey, Gary, sitting here writing on my book series called Liquor Street Stories. First book is out in a couple of days. Good luck. Good luck. At least you have, as I've said before, and it's not just for, it was really helpful for sobriety, but it's just helpful for life. Having a hobby is good for the soul. It is really good for the soul. It satisfies. Everybody needs to be creative in their own way, and not everybody's going to be top tier artist or anything like that, but it doesn't stop you from being creative and doing stuff on your own. And, you know, it helps with having a purpose. It gives you something to look forward to when you're working those, you know, 40-hour, 50-hour, in my case, 60-hour weeks, you know, selling auto parts. I really look forward to going to my garage band, or when I got out of prison, my sponsor at the time is like, you need to pick up a hobby, right? And it can't just be, you need to like go to meetings, but you need to pick up a hobby. That was the first time. So I'm like, all right, like, I can doodle, I can draw, I can illustrate, nothing great, but I can do it. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll make a comic book with my friends. So me, my friend Jay, my friend Doug, made a book. Character looks a lot like Elric, and I was really not aware of Elric at the time, but it looks a lot like Elric. And what's funny, the character actually looks a lot like Henry Cavill's Witcher. It was called Dark Legion. We made the comic book, paid for it with my own money, printed it, did a couple of signings. People were kind when they probably weren't, you know, just being nice. And there's a couple people who are emailing us right now, like looking for copies. I'm like, I don't know if any exist. I'm pretty sure I have a couple in my collection. There used to be boxes of it that were unsold, that were in the basement of the Comic Outpost, but I'm sure Hibbs just dumped them. I'm sure Brian Hibbs just dumped them, but yeah, we'll look for them. But yeah, nothing great, nothing groundbreaking, but I was really happy that I did that comic book, because it was just something to do. Hung out with my friends, you know, got to draw. It was great. No delusions of grandeur, thinking I was going to make it in the industry or anything. I was like, nope, I'm doing this for me and my friends. And that was it. And it was great. And that's what really stuck in my head for when I completely fucked up and had to sell a comic shop that was successful. But quickly becoming, I mean, there was plenty of customers and plenty of money coming in, but I was a coked out retard. So I had to sell it for a song to a guy who's considered a retailing legend among his peers, who couldn't keep that thing open. As a matter of fact, I'll get to this in just a second. As a matter of fact, I was going through, I forgot, like, our Yelp is still up. Here, let's see if I can find it. I think I'll be able to find it. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Let's take a look at some old pictures of the Comic Outpost, shall we? So yeah, the comic I did was called Dark Legion. It's copyrighted. I think Vox Day has a not a title, but a line called Dark Legion. I don't care. I really don't care. But it is copyrighted in the Library of Congress, and did the whole thing and had fun doing it from 95 or 6 to 2000. And the only thing I have left is the original art. I have yes, Dark Legion. It was called Dark Legion. It was the name of a project, Jack. So it's not the name of the guy, right? It's the name of a project. And basically, it was a mishmash of things. Pretty much everything I liked. I'm going to go James Gunn on you. It was just everything I liked. So it was a take Universal monsters and a little bit of the Old Testament with the Nephilim, government conspiracies, and a superhero. But it was supposed to be a horror superhero comic that would turn into epic fantasy towards the end. I had big ideas, man. I had big ideas. But it was basically going to be a ghost, a witch, and Frankenstein's monster. The ghost character was called Mist with a Y because it's so different. And his origin was from the Philadelphia experiment. Opal, the witch, who had her vocal cords removed, so she's got a big scar on her neck. She can't talk. It's a mystery that I totally didn't figure out. I kept on going back and forth. I'm like, is she really fucking old? Is she like a witch from the Salem witch trials who has been slowly experimented on over years? Yes, very Hellboy. I know. And then my guy has an origin, but I was never going to tell it. If that makes any sense. He's going to be like, kind of came out of nowhere. But yes, it was supposed to be this sprawling adventure. Made 2 comics. I made a whole Bible for it, though, beginning, middle, and end, and all these timelines and shit. It was fun. It was tons of fun. So here is the comic shop, the old comic shop. It's not called Comics Experience. It was called the Comic Outpost. Sold it to Brian on December 15th, 2013. I'm glad I did because it saved my life and my family and all that good stuff. But if you look on the right, that's a life-size Silver Surfer. And here, we can see all the photos. So this is old days. This is early days before I put the paneling on my walls and stuff. So that was like right when I first owned it, 2003. This is a painting by Dennis, my old co-host, and this is above where the counter was in the display window. So it was up in the higher ceilings, and that is a life-size Silver Surfer in front of a painting of Galactus. That is my logo, Comic Outpost. That's the outside. Hated that fucking tree in front of my door, but couldn't do anything about it. That's the new release wall back in the early days as well. So this is like early Comic Outpost era, 2003 to 2005-ish. There's old Russell. This is the mid-era before we carpeted. That is, hang on. This is after I sold it to Brian, and you see how empty it is? Look at that. Look at how all the blue walls are just fucking empty. You can see the difference. Hang on, let's find. This is still early times. That's my back loungy area. Spider-Man TV. We had a little loft that you climbed upstairs to get to the back issues. There are the back issues. Spider-Man collection. That is the Saw from Spider-Man 2. Screen used. It's just a mold. It's just a mold, but that is the Saw, screen used Saw from Spider-Man 2. Just resin. And those reels are the Spider-Man trailers. One of them is the one with the two towers, and those pumpkin bombs are screen used pumpkin bombs from Spider-Man 2. More Spider-Man statues and stuff. There's Harry Maldonado, my Spider-Man game, which is in my house. And if you look behind it, you can see the Empire Strikes Back vector graphics game. This is early days. So this is still 2005, 2006. There's my life-size Batman and Superman. Still looking for this Muckle Batman. I lost out on one on eBay like 5 years ago. I'm still looking for this. It is hard to find. That is the life-size Spider-Man from Sharper Image. There's Harry and Tamara. Those are awesome people. Used to work for me. Love them both. There's a front again. Oh, Tyrese Gibson made an appearance at the shop promoting Mayhem, his Image comic that he never followed up on. But he did bring MC Hammer to the shop later. That is this is a picture by Derek Robertson of The Boys fame and Transmetropolitan. He drew this for me. That's Chris Gore with the Comic Outpost shirt on when he was on Attack of the Show. So we traded that Muckle Batman that you saw, the life-size Batman. He stood on a base that was a giant bat symbol. So we gave him the bat symbol, which he still has, in trade for wearing my shirt on Attack of the Show, which he did. There's Ben Templesmith and Derek Robertson doing a signing. There's the late, great Ray Stevenson. R.I.P., brother. God, I wish I still had that poster. Whew. Up on the back, you could see right above my head, that's a Derek Robertson, Heath Ledger Joker. Oh, and look, right above my head, you can see the John Byrne commission piece that sits in a museum in France now that I sold. It's so sad. Oh, and I won Best of the Bay in 2009. Look at that. The readers of the San Francisco Chronicle voted my shop Best of the Bay. There's this is now later days. This is the new release. And that's when I had a full run of the Avengers around the walls of my store. We never quite finished this, but we hung loose figures from the top. Many of them are on these walls right now. And then you can tell the Brian era because it's just all stark and empty. And yeah, Brian era. So you can see the Silver Surfer right above there. Yeah, so this is after I sold it. And it didn't last long. I remember Brian's dad coming in on the day on the day we sold, and Brian's dad came up to me, and I was talking. I was telling him, like, keep the kids section. It was really working. We were getting new readers. And he looked at me right in the face. He's all, my son's going to do such a better job than you did. And he didn't. And he didn't. And now look at the comic industry. They don't even know who the fucking order from. Yeah, who spells comics with an X, right? Comics division. It's fucking gay. What a dick thing to say. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I was not in the best space of my life, and I was treated like trash, and I probably deserved it, you know? It was a good lesson to learn in life. It was very humbling. It was very humbling. And they knew something was wrong, and they knew what they were doing, and they made a smart business decision. So that I don't hold any resentment towards at all. Right. I mean, ultimately, it was my fault. Ultimately, it was all my fault. But yeah, Brian could have kept that store going if he would have kept it the kind of store it was, which is totally unlike his. You know, Brian's had a store for almost 40 years in San Francisco, and he's really good at selling books, not comic books, books. He's a bookseller who's a comic book seller. He doesn't really like back issues. He doesn't do any toys or tchotchkes. He pretty much sells trades, some pamphlets too. But he sold way more indie stuff. So it was way more acclimated to San Francisco than mine was, which was very traditional superhero comic book store. And he's like, he knows the numbers side of the business better than probably anybody who's ever existed in comic books. Customer service was never like the biggest strong suit with his store. Uh, 12-foot Tennis for $5 says, "Hey, yo, you fellas watching House of Art Asher?" No. I'm about as bigoted as it gets, and I'm having fun with it. The writing isn't as good as Spartacus, but all right. Christopher Patchett is in Az's defense. Has anybody ever heard of the pipe fitter's lips? No. Samurai for $2. Have we seen Sydney's left boob? Have we seen Sydney's left boob in Eden movie? No, but I've seen both of them. Jackson Cagle, thanks for the $2. I mean, in movies. King Dude 1999 for $2 says, Mel Brooks movies always made fun of Hollywood. They did. We'll see how Spaceballs 2, which is Josh Gad. So, Colorado Kid for $2 says DEI Nolan. Odyssey is DEI Nolan. It just is. I am hyped for the writer-director strike sequel. You know what, TJ Jordan? I am too. You know, in this era of sequels and prequels and midquels and intraquels, we're going to get Hollywood Strike 2 Electric Boogaloo. And I don't think it's as likely as the last one, but I think the tipping point will be, I can't see the studios wanting to sign a 5-year deal. I can't see the studios wanting to sign a 5-year deal. Warhammer is the daddy of Warcraft. Look it up. Oh, I believe you. Sherm Graves. Hayden Wayne for 50. I think you'll love Dispatch when you play it. I can't wait to see what you think of the characters. I think there's some pretty interesting writing. Finally, some good superhero stuff. Ooh, all right. I trust you, Hayden. Hail, brother. Degromination is a new member. Welcome. You're right about being creative. It was the only thing that brought me back from long-term depression. Building small houses out of cardboard, painting, writing, better than any pill. Yep. It's good for the brain. 10 years, 4 months, 20 days. Oh, man. Hail, brother. I just hit 12. I just hit 12, December 27th. Congratulations to Polly. Reprint your comic if you can, Gary. We'd buy it. Oh, boy. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea. I could maybe show you a page. I have one pretty close. I could maybe show you a page from it. Alex, 5150, thank you for the 6.99 Canadian pesos. Appreciate it. Degromination GM. LGM says, hail the fellowship. I see you're wearing another cover shirt. Thoughts on Neil Adams? Thanks for all the laughs and insight. I love Neil Adams. Prolific artist. May he rest in peace. Thank you for the 279. I appreciate it. Brioff Hyrule. Brioff Hyrule? Is that how I say it? Sorry. I see your shop had the silver statue as well. The one near me still has it. Coolest theater promo ever. Absolutely. Because does it have the full set where it's got the background of a building that he's flying down? It's huge. It is huge. Hail, Gary from Alberta, Canada. Got some sort of acute back injury over Christmas. That sucks. And can't do much. Your streams have kept me going and entertained. Oh, good. Good. I hope you feel better. Back injuries are no joke. When you sold it, did you keep certain comics like Amazing One? Well, we made the distinction of what was my personal collection and what was the inventory for the store. Yes. So I kept my personal collection 100%. Hey, Gary, big fan. First time in chat in sale job. Not happy. Wondering if I should take another simpler job and learn to invest instead. Advice? Training to be an actor. Thank you for what you do. Keep your job until you find something better. That would be my advice. Always keep your job, no matter how much it sucks, till you find something better. But absolutely look if you're not happy, because at least you can find like another it's a sales job, like another sales job that's better. But I'd be real. When I was working at auto parts, and especially after I sold the store, my mentality had changed, and I was a little older and wiser and realized that any company has no loyalty to me. So I was always looking for something better. Always looking for something better. And if somebody offered me more money, I went there. As much as I liked my coworkers and stuff, if I got a better offer that was much better, it's like, oh, out of here. Hail, Gary. Pick an actor or politician to play the part of Solomon Grundy. John Fetterman, Dave Bautista, or Boris Johnson comes to mind. Oh, God. John Fetterman. No, just the statue. Just the statue. Smalley daycare. Nolan should have went full Harryhausen with Odyssey. That would have been kind of cool. Because there you can do stop motion and make it look really fucking good. Actually, it's just really, it takes a lot of time. Elliot Page is putting the odd in Odyssey. Hashtag justice for Cecil. There you go. Russell Hall. I agree. Arg, another name for $9.99. I read that one. Thank you for the Elliot Page is putting the odd in Odyssey. You don't necessarily even have to reveal all the mysteries in your story, but you do need to know the answers to all the mysteries. If you're writing it, Book of Grudges. Yes, I agree. Mal Scott for 10 British pounds. Duffer Brothers need to watch Babylon 5. That's how you do a 5-year story arc. Word. Erica was D from What's Happening. She does look like D from What's Happening, for sure. Winston Alexander. Charlie Ross for $10. In Lord of the Rings, which of the 3 movies would you choose to watch in the theatrical edition? And which of the movies would be in the extended version of When the Throne? I did answer this one. I would never watch him that way, ever, but Return of the King, probably. Dave Filoni's wife is the witch from the Robert Eggers film. She's up to some dodgy stuff. Greetings from the Netherlands. Moving back to Argentina. Lost my job and visa. Oh, shit. And getting into YouTube. Gary, what amount of subs views to get on the show and discuss TV movies with you next year? It's not necessarily, that doesn't factor. That doesn't factor. Would you be good conversationally? That factors in. That's the only thing that factors in. So get good. Ken B for $4.99. FNT shippers want to see Nerdrinker and Gaz short lines. Worst thing that's happened to fandom. Woogie Boofuff. I don't even know how to say that, X-Ray Girl. For 5 Canadian pesos. Dan and Dave, Damon Duffers, why are Hollywood writers are nothing but total D-bags? Because they're not getting the best of the best anymore. And Robin Hood looks like a Logan remake. Come on, Hugh. It kind of does. Bed Reed Grimm for $10. Do you make butt milk by cheeky scissoring? That's a question for Az. Sirf 78 for $5. D plus is what Pedro likes and Filoni needs. I'm taking the black pill and swallowing another harder pill to admit there is no saving any of this. I have no hope for entertainment to be saved. TJ Jordan. Well, I mean, you can, if you black pill something like Star Wars or Star Trek, I'm not going to blame you. But overall, entertainment will always be around. It's just, are you talking about Hollywood entertainment? Who knows? Star Trek Academy, cringe of the theater kids. That's what it is. MJ Bull, thank you for the $2. Brian Darkwolf for 10. Gary, please, can you have Perry Chan put together a new Star Trek Academy trailer using the song The Weller Man featuring the hologram, Jemadar, and Tilly? Maybe he's listening. Because they toss them off buildings, no winga. The Klingons' favorite weapons is the Butleth and the Dicta. Justin Player Guitar for $5 says the dumbest thing in the Stranger Things finale was why Vecna didn't have Hopper kill 11 in actuality. That's what a smart villain would do. He had a chance to kill a lot of instead of like throwing people aside, he could have just had the Demogorgons kill him. He should have killed Will. He had a bunch of chances to kill 11 and didn't do it. Judah says that might not have been a rant, but holy shit, that was from Friday Night Tights. Stranger Things might not be the last big phenomenon. Demon Slayer has a chance to be exactly that, but better with its 2 final movies. Well, I was talking about a TV phenomenon in America. So Demon Slayer's huge internationally. I'm not going to doubt it's how big it is, but I'm talking about something young and old talk about consistently from week to week. So it has to be a streaming show, not necessarily a movie. So I'm talking about a water cooler show specifically. Arguing on the name for 1999, the hologram actress looks like the junk lady from Labyrinth. Dangerous Spaces for $2 Australian. She looks like a Jordan Peele character from KMP. TJ Jordan for $1.99. She looks like she came from an Aztec ritual. An Aztec ritual. Where are we at? We're at 3 hours. Okay, we're going to get the rest on Thursday. We're going to get the rest on Thursday evening. We got guy in the chair type IT guy here looking for my next gig. Anyone hiring, Gary? I can be funny too. I'm not right now, but I'm sure people are. Is anybody looking for a funny guy in the IT chair? Thank you, Sin Game Force, for 10 Canadian pesos. Nick Fuentes as Del Rusk in Doomsday, yay or nay? Hale, I was lucky enough to find your Galactus painting on eBay. Amazing art. It's huge, incredible. It's part of Nerdrotic history. You found it? You actually found it and bought it? No shit. Well, that's cool. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed. I found one of my banners on eBay, and I think Brian did like some kind of estate sale or something. What a fucking moron. There was so much stuff that if you took the time, that was worth a lot of money. Oof. Gary, I have your merch shirt. My little girl said she wanted one, but I got it with the book bundle. Where can I get another Nerdrotic shirt, but in kid size? Maybe we'll start making them in kid size, Joey. We should do that. But they're not available right now, but put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. So we're going to wrap it up there. And on Thursday, I'll show off my art from the book. A little bit. Art. We're going to put that in air quotes. So coming up tomorrow, Real BBC is on Az's channel, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it's on Az's channel. So Real BBC tomorrow on Az's channel. In the meantime, who's streaming right now? X-Ray Girl. Let's take a look. Bum, 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 bum. Ripa. Ripa is streaming. Go check out Ripa. Eric July. All right. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. We still have some leftovers from FNT that I will hit Thursday evening. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks to all the participants. I appreciate you all. See you next time.